Today I'm going to show you how to achieve this gorgeous look using the brand new mineral quad eyeshadow palette called Camo. First we're going to start with primer, buffing that all over the face with the primer buffing brush. This creates a nice even surface for your makeup to sit on and will ensure your makeup lasts all day. Now I'm going to test out what colour face base Lucia should be wearing by applying a little bit on the neck. I find it's the best way to colour match for a flawless application. Face base C suited her perfectly, so I'm just going to buff that in all over her face with the foundation buffing brush. Be careful to also blend down the neck to eliminate any lines along the jawline. Next, to conceal under the eyes, I'm using the Conceal and Illuminate palette in the third shade Pink Flesh. Again, I'm just going in to buff that in. With the same concealer, I'm pressing that product onto her eyelid so that the shadow has a solid base to work with. It also just makes the eyes even in colour by ridding any veiny areas and discoloration. Before we go into the eyeshadow, I always use a bronzer as a transition tone. I opt for Vegas Sunset Bronzer, which is in our Glow palette, because it's a nice warm tone and will ensure a seamless blend of any of the other cooler shades. I'm just blending that throughout the crease. Now, introducing our brand new Mineral Quad eyeshadow palette. Using this brown tone Chaps, I'm going to add some dimension to the eyes by applying and blending that into the outer third of the eye. Now with this first shade, Camouflage, we're going to dip a flat eyeshadow brush right in there and start dabbing that on the mobile lid, focusing more on the inner third of the eye. We're going to bring that colour up to the crease, but make sure we're not going any higher than that. Next, with the shade Snake Skin, which is another gorgeous shimmery colour in the palette, we're going to press that in next to the camo shade to add a gorgeous gradient effect. With that darker shade now called Soot, I'm going to apply that to the outer third of the eye. I like to use a smaller brush for this just because I have more control over where the bulk of the product goes. I'm also going to carry that colour into the crease as well. If you feel you want some heavier coverage, feel free to go in with some more foundation. However, I've done a thin base on Lucia and her skin is looking amazing already, so I think I'll just leave it as it is. With some mineral foundation powder, I'm just sitting underneath Lucia's eyes to make sure her makeup doesn't crease. I'm also just going to set the rest of her face where shine might be produced and areas where her hands may make contact with throughout the day, such as the jawline. Now to bronze everything up, I'm using bronzer from the Glow palette to carve out her cheekbones and warm up her face. I'm just playing with this bronzer around the temples as well, and also just along the jawline, blending down. For blush, I'm using a warmer bronzer called Summer Kiss, just because I don't want to incorporate any pinks or peaches for this look. I'm just dabbing a little bit of that to the apples of her cheeks. Now for some illuminator, I'm applying that highlighter from the Glow palette and applying it directly to the high points of her cheeks, sides of her temples, and working that subtly into the brow bone as well. Other places you can work this product is down the bridge of the nose and also on the cupid's bow to make the lips appear poutier. I'm now applying Runway Room's brow dust with an angled brush, applying most of the product at the tail of the brow, then working inwards with the remaining product on the brush. I'm using short, sharp motions to almost replicate brow hairs with the powder. I'm keeping it also really light on the inner corner of the brow. I love brushing through the brows after with a spoolie. It just makes the brows look so groomed and disperses the product really well. Now to add some balance to the eyes, I'm applying a bit of that Chaps eyeshadow to the lower lash line and using a small bullet brush. I'm now blending that with a warmer Summer Kiss bronzer with a large blending brush. This makes the blending again nice and seamless. To add some smokiness to the look, I'm going to go in with a Soot eyeshadow and apply that tightly to the lower lash line. I'm also just applying that back up again on the outer third of the lids to add some extra smokiness. With some Power Lash, I'm going to apply this with a spoolie on Lucia's lashes. I like to apply this in a rotating motion so that no lashes are left untouched. Wriggling the one side to side also separates the lashes nicely to avoid that spidery looking effect. To soften out the top liner, I'm going to go in with an eye definer in the colour Black and penciling in on top of that lash line, really making sure I don't take the product up too high. I'm connecting those outer edges so there aren't any fleshy gaps, and then also applying that liner to the waterline. Now for lips, I'm going in and applying a little bit of matte lip nude, followed by Fairy Lights lip gloss. I'm keeping the lips quite nude because I want the eyes to be the main feature of this look. To lighten up under the eyes and diffuse the appearance of creases, I'm going to apply a little bit more of that mineral powder foundation. To bring back that bit of shadow on the bottom lash line, I'm just touching up a bit of that Chaps eyeshadow. To add some extra volume, I'm going in with Runway Room's Luxe Lash Enhancement and applying that directly on top of the lash line, pushing in the inner and outer corners. Just wait for that glue to become slightly tacky before applying for the stickiest results. And there you have it, a gorgeous smoky eye look using our new Camo palette.